Welcome to Deep Heights. My name is Deborah. Thank you for being here. I hope you're well. We're going to get started. We'll start with the Halloween Oracle. Scrying. Death. The eternal cycle begins here. Scrying. Intuition. This is, makes me think of the Magician card because the elements are represented here. This would be discs. Earth. You have fire. Let's say maybe this ball, the crystal could be like water, air. Well, you need air for a fire. So it's all here, it's just kind of hidden and you have to intuit it. All the elements are here to be worked with, but you intuit them, you have to trust your intuition. And what is that? The knowledge that you have within is your intuition. And it's all over. It can be felt all over the body because energy travels throughout the meridian system, throughout different points in your body. It can be felt and transmitted. And learning how to understand. First of all, you must understand that they exist. What are the philosophies behind them? What are their uses? That's not the best word, but purpose. What is the purpose of those systems and understanding the body from that perspective? And the spirit, because it's order. It's intense when you feel that energy. But you need to be moving with it and open with it, because even something good and positive can get stuck and stagnant and cause pain, blockages, causing confusion, dysfunction, not just of the body, but also of the spirit and your ability to use your intuition, your gut, your feelings, your instincts. You need to be healthy and pure to really be moving from that place, to hear it, to even hear it, to feel it, because there are so many things in our world, but with food, the things that we see on television, energies, frequencies, ideas, beliefs that block and poison our bodies. We're numb, we're armored in the Reichian sense. We're unfeeling, and intuition is also feeling. To scry, to see, to see through something else, to see the future, to see truth through something else. This is a means of communication, the crystal balls, the paladin thing of Lord of the Rings. They could speak. This was like a medium, a means of communication. And we would say, oh, it's magic because we don't understand it. Well, if you don't understand how television works and communications and electricity and energy, you would think that's magic too. So just because we don't understand how something like this could have worked in the past doesn't mean it doesn't exist, that it didn't exist and that it didn't work. That could it be used for good or evil? We know that like Sauron and Saruman, they used them for evil. And because they used it for evil, the thing itself becomes evil, because energy leaves a mark. on objects. You see a lot of people spend a lot of money on occult objects, their daggers, their tools used in ritual for harm, because it's energetic. It leaves a mark. That's why these objects are sacred. Like these objects here, the bone, the crystal, the pentagram, earth, air, water, fire, and spirit with the circle that's binding. What is being bound? Is it pure? Is it protected? What is it protecting? There are a lot of things to be unpacked and to be thought about from something that looks like a cartoon picture. This is not for everyone. It's not meant to be. So on the bottom, we had death. The eternal cycle begins here. Symbolized by the moth. And just think, moths are seeking the flame, they're seeking the light. They're called moths. And in readings that I've done in the past, I realized that I missed mother and moth. I could go in a lot of different directions here with this death, and I'm not exactly sure what it wants to say, other than we know that what it represents, what it means, the underworld cycle of change. The eternal cycle begins here. But in which way? Is it the way where you're trapped in death and rebirth before you realize that energy changes and transforms? Are we going to repeat the same cycles, that eternal cycle of death and rebirth, without learning? Doomed to this hell. It's been coming out in the past couple of readings. The hell is repetition. The line from Andre Lenoge from Storm of the Century. Because it is. Repetition. Suffer. 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 Over and over and over. You have to let it go. Death, it is the end of something. It is at the end of a way of being, of a way of seeing. But there's also the rebirth. We fear death in our culture. It's scary. I'm gonna get a fairy. I feel like that's where we want to go. So maybe here what could be being said is that to open up these abilities and your intuition, that you have to let go of something. Some part of you has to die. Like the phoenix isn't reborn. It must burn first. That D.H. Lawrence poem, The Phoenix. It must burn down to hot, flocculent ash before it's reborn. To the eagle, immortal bird, But you have to be a part of that process. And you have to, there's no step-by-step instructions, to follow your intuition through it. You enter the dark forest. It's scary. Maybe we have to allow some of our old beliefs to die. A death of a system, of our way of being, our belief system, the things that we hold important, things that we've learned or been taught, or, we have to do it alone when our friends laugh at us, our marriages dissolve, family members laugh at you. And you have to stay true to yourself and your path, no matter what anyone else says. because it's sacred. Okay. Let's see. I'll have them upside down. All right, let's wait for the fairy card to reveal itself. The green woman. She knows. This energy knows. She doesn't care if other people laugh at her. I don't care if you laugh at me because I know I'm following the right path. Protected by nature spirits. This little, I want to call it a griffin, but like a little, these little statues are these, this is like an oak, leaves, a nature gargoyle, protects her. She's protected by nature, by spirit, in the face of everyone else. I mean, you could be a man, and this is just the type of energy you're talking about, this playfulness, this ability to make it light, even though it's really difficult and heavy. The green woman. And also, there's a fool energy, because someone to be green is inexperienced, and the fool is inexperienced, that new growth that comes after the winter, the new growth of spring. It's fresh. It's doing what it knows that it's unfolding, because that's what's in its DNA genetic makeup to do. That's the process, the code for what it does to unfold. Not that we don't have free will through choice, but this is that reminder. Fuck them. Fuck them. Do you, and follow your heart. And that doesn't mean harm people and try to be mean to them. It's just, okay, you think I'm crazy? I am. I'm fine here with my stick friends. Nature, with animals, with spirit. It's a little wild. She's got antlers. It's masculine energy there as well with those antlers. Like a stag. She's done this before. She's got the antlers through the years. You get new points. They get new points, I think, every year. And then she's got like little ones coming out, with the death, with the eternal cycles. She knows that it's a cycle. She trusts the process intuitively. She loves it. I like this energy. I could use this energy. Glad that we could all use this energy. So we're not allowing other people's opinions and laughter to force us into conformity, something we don't agree with or believe in. Because that's, you make people uncomfortable when you go your own way. It makes them uncomfortable. It doesn't win you any popularity contest, and it doesn't get you invited to parties. It makes people really uncomfortable. Fuck them. And she's natural, the green woman. She's always out in the forest, talking to animals and to the trees and to butterflies and bees. She loves the sun and the moon and the shadow and the dark and the light, the mist, the birds, color, growth. She purifies tainted objects. Evil that comes upon her, anything that comes up to her, this evil, these food, people use food and they want to give you things, you can call them cursed objects, cursed food. Can't hurt you with that attitude. It renders it null and void. This is card 23. It's a beautiful number, 23. It's like the hidden card after the Fool. There are 22 cards in the Major Arcana. There's the Fool. But the Fool would just keep going, through the 0 through 21. You would just go through those. But it's like somehow the 23 is the new cycle, even though there's something sacred about the Fool's journey. There's something sacred about that, but this is what happens when you follow your when you get out. Somehow, I don't know, I feel that really, really strongly. When you go your own way, when you're the 23rd, beyond 22. Make space because my legs fall asleep. Okay, let's see what else is here. Talk about this. Scrying and death, and we'll get into some tarot. This is my favorite card in this deck. This is Ilba, the Retriever. And Ilba finds things that are lost. He can be trusted to hold on to it and give it to you because he's not going to go and find it and then keep it. No, he has it for you. Things we don't understand. This Ilba isn't of this realm. He's not evil. He would never make the choice to keep something that isn't his because he's it's not even in his makeup. He would never choose to do something like that because it's dishonorable, it's wrong, it's harmful. That's why he's trusted and allowed to go places that you have forgotten about within yourself and other realms. He can be a guide. The retrieval of memory. I'm interested in knowing what he's about. So, Las Guna is on the bottom. And the Las Guna card talks about how important it is to be in the nature. It's also a card of like spas and healing waters, the healing mineral water and healing with your body. I'm a massage therapist. I do body work. It's important that we recognize that as essential to our health. Not that I can do it, but that we need that as human beings. We need touch, we need nature, we need these natural elements and minerals in water because we respond to it. We're not made Our bodies are organic. They're not made to be in a fucking cubicle, staring at your phone all day. I mean, it doesn't mean you need to go live and lay down in a riverbank and get massaged and fanned all day. No, everything in, use your fucking common sense. But if you can't do those things, at least if you have a backyard, a front yard, you can go on a walk barefoot. Feel the grass under your feet. Feel the wind. Don't run necessarily through, if you can, you don't, I mean, I'm not saying it's bad to run on concrete, but walk in your grass and feel that feeling on your feet. Sit down in your backyard in the grass. Look at the trees if you live in the country, if you have a yard. But remembering that you are connected with spirit and nature. Okay. I wanted to talk about Ilba. I'm going to use the Zilch Tarot. So, what's lost in man? I mean man as a species, man, woman. What have we forgotten that's keeping us in these cycles? What is it? Oh, look, the magician, the magus on the bottom of the deck. You are a participant. I'm not going to say that you have the power because that could be misinterpreted, but you do. He's using earth, which is matter and things and this reality. Air, which is the mind. The psyche, the mind. Water, which is the emotions. And wands, which is the will, the fire of life, the spark of life. And he uses all of these. And he mixes them. He's a magician. He's a scientist. Or she. And they don't all, at all times, they're not all equal because they're just not. He's moving things and it's flowing and it's movement. It's movement. These are difficult subjects sometimes to talk about because they're elusive, for me at least. Sometimes the words, they're not right there. It's interpreting symbols and feeling a symbol and to give it words and to bring them together because one card has a meaning, but when they all come together, it changes. It's the beauty and importance of tarot. They're extensions of our psyches, of our beings, of our souls. The Hermit. On the full reversed on the bottom. It's talking about how you're getting out of that cycle. This is, after this, anyway, so this is the life of man, from the fool to the hermit. This is the sage. He's the old man. Here he's kind of shown gray, like Gandalf the gray, but yeah, before Gandalf is gray, before he goes and he fights the Balrog, and then he's Gandalf the White, the 23rd. Because you're not going to go back to the cycle. You're not going to begin the cycle in the same way as the fool. You've learned. There's a really beautiful story from Manly P. Hall in his, it's called The Hermit, I think. No, it's called, Nature's Homage is the name of the story. Nature's Homage, and it's about, it's a really beautiful story. Really, I recommend anyone reading it, and yeah, it's beautiful. It's the end of a cycle. and the beginning of a new one. And that's what Ilba has retrieved. Maybe he's retrieved this knowledge, your knowledge within that you have through processes. And now it's time to begin a new one. Unknown. The 23 is like unknown. It's interesting that the 23, and it's feminine. There are some theories, like Gnostic, and even in Christian, that the fall of man is due to a woman. Or the fall of Sophia from the Gnostics, the Pistis Sophia, if you've read that. And that this could be the healing of that within you, man or woman, part of us, because we're in a body, human. I don't know, that kind of goes out there, but stay with me. The Hermit. We know it's a solo journey. We've reached the end. We're alone. Where do we go from here? Do we do what we've always done? We take another ride, different faces, different times, but it's the same. What happens when we don't want to take that ride anymore? That part of us has to die. What we've always done has to die. We have to do something else, something new, and we don't know what that is. We just have to do it, one foot in front of the other. Or maybe you fucking levitate like this hermit. Let's get another one. Strength card reversed. Get another one. Why is the strength card reversed here? We have the Hanged Man and the Five of Swords. Just give me a second. It hurts. It hurts, because there's an element of pride in our ability to tame the beast within in every cycle. If we think about if that's the purpose of our life, to tame the wildness of our nature and to be sophisticated, intellectual, always operating from a place of rationality, and we're not following our instincts just to ravage and eat and have sex all the time or whatever. The lust, this card is lust. But it's the lust for life as well. But here is reversed, so it would be the negatives of that. Here we have the Hanged Man with the Five of Swords. Recognizing that the cycle needs to end. It hurts. Your crown is gone. The lion is the sun. Leo, the king. That's slain. There's a snake here with those horns, the horns of the ram, which is Aries, which is the beginning of a cycle, beginning of the zodiacal wheel. The fool can represent Aries. That cycle is done. But you must willingly, like the Hanged Man, you must willingly hang from the tree to see it that way. You're upside down. Going through the underworld. The underworld says 12. Death is the 13th card. There's a pain. I can talk about these things and laugh. But I feel it hurts. It's really hard. This whole process is extremely difficult. Painful. It hurts to let go. It hurts to let go. It's the pause. You must take that pause, and you decide. It's just like Ilba, you know, and you pause and you go within to find what you've lost. It's uncomfortable. The hanged man is very uncomfortable. I mean, if we just take it literally, do you want to hang upside down from a tree by one leg? I mean, he's not really hanging, but if you are hanging, you're going to be all spatarao. You're just, you know, but he's calm and cool and in like a yoga pose. It's difficult to maintain that strength of mind, of body, of breath, of presence, of knowing that you don't know when it's going to end. You just have to be brave. I'm going to get a sacred geometry card. It's exciting too. Not that I'm saying that like I enjoy the pain or the not knowing, but because I don't. I mean, I do believe that we know that we're going to emerge. Look, heart chakra on the bottom. Because there's happiness and joy in the process as well. Laughter. We have perception and alchemy. Do I need to explain them with the cards that have already come out? Let's get some advice from the Thoth deck. Just gonna say that sometimes you get overwhelmed by energy, you know, these whooshes of energy. And as I was thinking about saying that, the Nine of Wands reversed and Ten of Wands on the bottom of the deck. It's very, very intense energy. It's very heavy. And there's the need to be able to transmute that with the alchemy here and the way that you see it with perception. The way that you feel it. You have to allow it to pass through you. Recognize it and feel it, but don't let it get stuck. Don't let it get stuck there and weigh you down. Burden. Saturn and Sagittarius. Saturn limits the Sagittarian ability to mute because it's mutable fire. Sagittarius is represented by the Temperance card, the Art card, and the Major Arcana. It limits and it restricts it through perception. It's very heavy. You know, drains you here. This is Sagittarius, Sun in Sagittarius. Excuse me. The ninth house, talking about higher truths, philosophy, travel, understanding and fascination with foreign places, other ways of thinking and being outside of your own. You know, perception, different ways of seeing. We know right now that it's limited, and not just now, but always. It's not going to be easy. No one's going to make it easy. I'm going to keep those all together. All right. Wow. Wow. So we have the Four of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles reversed. It's like everything is blocked. Because the Queen of Pentacles reversed with the Four of Wands reversed is not being able to pursue your goals to create a foundation for yourself because you don't have the will within, because the Queen of Pentacles is a businesswoman. She's a mother. She's very caring and loving. She moves, she travels. She's honest and pure. She's scaled that mountain. It's Capricorn, the Queen of Pentacles, a feminine Capricornian energy here. She's worked very hard for it. Four of Wands is stability of will, knowing the foundation and moving with that. And here that's blocked. It's not able to find its expression freely because of blockages, oppression. And maybe that's what's being said here, if this is about feminine energy. I mean, it doesn't have to be, because if you're a man, you can apply this to yourself. These are like just stories of spirit. You're not able to. She's free to express herself how she wants, and naturally. She's kind of wild. She might not suit everyone. People might be turned off by her, think it's gross, whatever her preferences are, but she's not hurting anyone. She's happy, playful, joyful, It's important that we find that ability, because it is heavy. There is a great heaviness, but it's up to you to use what you've learned throughout your lifetimes to intuit that somehow and see it, and to retrieve that information from previous experiences, because it's like genetic memory, soul memory, energetic memory within you of all of your previous experiences. And not just yours, but because we are human beings and our genes and our DNA, you have access somehow to everyone else's. That's important as well. But there aren't back doors. You can't buy your way into that. You have to find your way there. And there are series of stringent tests. You must be pure. You're not even going to get anywhere near unless you do certain things a certain way, and you'll never know if you've done them, because it has to be natural. And that's what, I think that the rulers and the elites don't understand. You can't buy that knowledge. You can't force it. You can torture man all you want. And nature, you can destroy it, but you'll never find it. And you'll never kill it either. Fuck you, You can't have it. It's mine. Not you, but them. Alright. Let's get the world. Freedom. 21. This is a 22nd card. The Fool being 0, this would be card 22. And here we have card 23. You won't repeat the same cycles, even if those cycles are there for a reason, if they've been sacred, and they are sacred, those roads. But it's time. It's time for you to be 23. For you to be you, and I don't know, the alchemy, the hidden stone. The transcendence from the mundane to the pure. You see, she's dancing with the snake, but she isn't a snake. She's naked, she's herself, but she's dancing with the snake. She's moving with it, but not with it. There's also like a hook there that she's got. What is that implying? I never really noticed that, but what is that hook implying? Is she going to get on it again and go through the cycle? Or is she going to, I don't know, is she going to kill that snake? Is that what the death is talking about? The snake represents death, shedding skin, wisdom, you know. Is that what must die? That known? I don't know. I don't know what that means. That could be really explored. And this looks like, here it's like a carousel, you know, it's like a machine, something that goes around and around and around. And you've got the fixed signs represented there in the corners. You must release yourself from these cycles. It's not a Deep Heights reading if I don't get a card from the sisters. Wow, that's really beautiful. I just want to bring that out. And I'll also, I don't know if I said about the 22. I'm born on the 22nd of October. It's like my favorite number, sequence of numbers, 1022. But here we have the 21, and then it goes to the 23, which is 23. You know, what is the significance then of the hidden, the 22nd, the 22? Because it's implied, but it's unseen. The 22, here in this reading. It's an unseen step. That's what it is. Like, it's unseen. You have to intuit it. So to get from here, the end, the world, and whatever choice you make, there's the 21, and there's the 22 that's unseen, that you don't know. And then you have this, the 23. And that happens in death. That's the death, is the 22 maybe. The unknown, because there are things we just don't know. And we want to know them, which is why we scry, we want to know, we use tarot, you know, some people use it to predict the future. I mean, I use it to think about the now, the present, how we can better understand it. But it's about intuition through that hidden time. The unknowns where we go to retrieve courage, the will, ourself, our soul, to save our own soul, to save ourselves. No one's going to save you but yourself. This turned out really beautiful. I'm really happy with it. Thankful. Wow. Blows me away a little bit. Okay. Let's close with a card from the sister. Feels really good, you know. And that's what lets you know that through all the darkness, the heaviness, that attitude, you know, one of the most valuable things I've ever heard is from Michael Tsarion, that freedom is attitudinal. That changed my life. Changes my life now. This attitude is freedom. No one can take that from you. Integrity. Thank you for going on this little journey with me. I hope to see you again.